Hello! Welcome to this making of video explaining how I animate. Roughly. Okay, so the program I'm using to make my animations is called Anime Studio Pro 11, and it's the 30-day free trial version. Because I had some problems with OpenTunes being laggy on my school computer, I had to change direction and go with another program. Um, my teacher found this for me, and yeah, it's actually surprisingly surprisingly really good. Or well, not surprisingly because it's a pretty expensive program, but it's affordable. So um, but yeah, let's jump straight into this. So you can see on my screen here, I have this image, but you can see down here in the timeline, it's actually animated. Let's start this animation. So you can see I have a fairly complicated animation. It's not the world's most complicated, but it's the first real animation from my short film I have done in this. And the reason why there's no background or anything like that is because I only animate the character in this program, and then I render it transparently, and then I put it into After Effects and Premiere afterwards to add the effects and layers and stuff. So yeah, um, as you can see, there's multiple things moving around, but the thing that is always still is the body itself. So let me show you how I did this. Okay, so if we start from the beginning, uh, I had these sketch faces. So if we start with the body, first I drew this body. Um, then above the body there's all of the moving layers. As you can see, this is animated as well because I made the rough animation like this. Um, so yeah, that gave me a rough impression, and this is also the phase where I experiment with the timing of the movements. Um, but yeah, that's all of the moving clothes on her body. Then I added a layer that is the cape she has, also animated. And lastly, I added her hair. Um, so everything moves independently, and you can see when I go between the different layers here, you can see in the timeline it changes, and that's because all of the keyframes here are different on everything. Here there's no timeline because the body is just one solid image, and the clothes are here as well. Um, one thing, one thing you may notice here is that the body has a different icon here than the other three layers, and that's because the body is just an image layer. Clothes, cape, and hair are frame by frame layers. You can see here when I, uh, if I can just quickly. No, no, it doesn't want to work. God damn it. Yeah, but you can see here in the menu. There's vector, image, group with selection, bone, switch, frame by frame, particle, node, audio, patch, and text. I have used frame by frame and vector. This is a vector, and all of these are frame by frame layers. Frame by frame layers have like this menu where you can add and delete and duplicate frames. Um, the vector layer doesn't have this function, so you cannot make keyframes with a vector layer. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, so the next thing I did was making line art for all of the layers. Um, you can't see it now because all of the all of the lines, the colors, and the shades are in the same layer. You can see here, like every frame has its own coloring, line art, and shading. So yeah, what I did was line the thing out. Then I colored it in with the base color, and afterwards I shaded it. So I can actually show you guys here because I have the working files here. If I just show you, this is the first one without anything. This is maybe going a little fast, but that is moving clothes. We have the cape and the hair. And then we go to line art. Here's the line art of the body and the moving clothes and bangs. Then we have the line art with the moving hair and cape. And then we have the animation with flat colors. And lastly, we have the current one with shades and highlights. So yeah, okay. So a little not tutorial, but just a little run through of the tools I've used for this. I used this freehand tool to draw the lines. Everything is vector shaped. Vector shaped. Goddammit. Vector based in this. Okay, so here we go. Let me quickly make a frame by frame layer here. So it asks me to name it, and I will call it test. So here we are. This is a new layer. So if we just like it's a bit stereotypes. Okay, so if we try to draw something here, you can see the stroke color is here, the fill color is here. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay, a little bit bigger. Okay, I want to draw an eye here. So you can see the stroke is very, very smooth. You can change the smoothing here. So like this is not smooth at all, this is just the way you draw it, and this is very smooth, so that is for more for like longer lines that need more smoothing. So if we make our eye here, I cannot talk today. You can see it looks something like this. Then we go down here and add plus. And you can see the timeline finds itself here. Okay, but I want to draw something that is animated from this. Let me quickly hide these because it's taking processor power. But yeah, so what do? You see, there's something here called onion skin. You can see now it's deselected. But if I activate it, you got these little gray areas here, and then you just drag it to the frame before, and you can see like the outline of the eye. So let's make this closed. Okay, so now we have 2 frames. Okay, but I want to add some frames in between. Because this is not a natural movement. So I go back to the first frame, and then I click add frame again. Okay, so now I can see, oops. So now I can see there's a green line here and there's a red line. The green is the frame in front of me, this one, and the red is the frame behind. So now I can see, okay, from here to here, we have to have kind of this in between thing. So let's make this one. Okay. So now we have this in between frame here. Okay. So if we say this is fine, then we can say, okay, this is going way too fast. See, this is 24 frames per second. So let's try to. The thing you do is you select the hindmost frame, and then you just drag it and drag it. So we can see now it's actually having a decent speed. Okay, so if we say I want to open the eye again, let's go to this frame, and then we select the one we want to copy it, and just paste. It will paste on the place you are with your cursor. Okay, so let's just do the same with the first frame. So copy, paste, and just drag it a bit here. Let's drag this away also. So now we have a working eye animation. A very rough animation, but that is the basics of how this works. Also, you can see here the blue on the timeline here is the amount of frames that will loop. For example, if I go to here, it will just start from the beginning. So if we, for example, set the loop to 19, then you can see the blue frame changes, and it will now just loop those frames. So this is a very, very good tool, especially for looping animations like this. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is basically it. Okay, let's try to add some color to our eye here, because I still haven't covered the color tool. Okay, let's see. We want our eye to be green. So we have green in the fill color. Remember it to be the fill color. Then we go to what was it called? It is called the blub brush. Yeah. So you can see I can adjust the size here. Let me make it this. And then you can see I can just color. And the easiest for this is just the freehand color, because the paint bucket requires that every vector line is connected precisely. So this is much easier. So you can see it kind of fills this this area with like a checker box pattern here. And then you just click enter, and it automatically goes under the line. So this is very useful. You can see there's a menu here called Draw Behind Strokes. If this is checked, it will go behind the strokes. If it's not checked, let me try to draw something here. You can see it goes above. So this is very useful, also for shading, because let's make a darker green here. Let's say we want the iris here to be darker. It just goes over and replaces the lighter green. So this is perfect for shading. Let's add the gray as well, and just color this. And you see, as long as I'm inside the lines, it will not go into like any other thing. So this is very, very precise. Okay, let's say I messed up. Let me try to draw the next frame here. Let me get the green. Good. So, if we were to say I messed up and drew outside of the eye here, but I didn't want to like go back and redraw it, there's this tool. You can see everything is vectors here, and you can just drag and drop the pinpoints. You can see there's a lot of points here. So what I do is I take the select tool and then I select all of the points, go back to my move tool, and then I just drag it in. So this is very useful that it's vector based, because in case you draw outside, there is the eraser, but this is also very easy because you just have to drag the points here. Also, this is very precise in case you have like a very complicated drawing and you want something to be pinpoint precisely where you want it to be. You can just change the points and you're good to go. So yeah, that is basically it. Oh yeah, another thing. When you go ahead and copy a layer, you copy all of its attributes as well. So if I have this loop animation, I only have to like change these 3 frames, because these 2 are exactly the same as the 2 first ones. So this saves a lot of time as well. As you can probably see, let me find this for you. This animation is also looped. If we take the close, for example, you can see it loops in the same way 3 times. And in the middle here, the timing is a bit faster, so it gives more motion. But basically, it is all up to, I think it is this one, up to here. Only these only these are like the ones I need to change. So I don't have to color every one of these frames or draw in every one of these frames. It will just be automatically updating as well. So yeah, all in all, this is a very, very good program to use for animation. I found it very easy to get into and use. I only started using this program yesterday, and I already made this animation, so I would say it's pretty good to for like these kinds of animations. And yeah, I can't wait to continue on with the other scenes I have to animate. So yeah, I will have a link down below where I will have a kind of I will have the portfolio where I have the animation progress as GIFs as well, so you can see it more closely. Though the GIFs are not the best quality in the world, but yeah, it'll do. So yeah, I will be back with another video, and that video will be covering how I use After Effects and Premiere to edit each scene. And I will be showing how I edit this scene with the background, foregrounds, and effects. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And until next time, bye bye for now.